Uh, what about her? I asked Todoroki, as he said he needed to speak to me about her, but I didn't know, like, it was this. He sighed before slowly saying, I see how you look at her. I felt my face grow red as I asked, what do you mean? And all he responded with, you know what I mean. I hate to break it to you, but she's out of your league. Haven't you seen how much time she hangs out with Bakugo? I felt myself grow shaky. If she likes anyone, it's clearly Bakugo. I'm sorry to break it to you. I wanted to cry. Because I knew it was true. I just didn't want to show anyone that I was weak. Even if it was Todoroki. I figured that I would tell you before you got heartbroken. He finished, and I looked down as I bit my lip as it quivered. I see. Thanks, I said before picking up my bag and turning to leave. I heard Todoroki call my name one last time, but I ignored him as I composed myself to go back out. When I went out that door, I looked up and saw her smiling at me with her famous toothy grin that seemed to brighten up any room. Sadly, though, I knew that whatever happened, she would never know how I feel. That's what slowly is going to rip my heart in pieces. Your perspective. I heard my alarm clock go off for what felt like the first time. Turning around to take a look at it, expecting it to say around 6:30. 9:30? Crap, I'm half an hour late already. Jumping up and picking up my school uniform, I ran downstairs, jumped in my school clothes, and ran right out the door. Running down the street in my PJs wasn't the nicest thing, but I put my school jacket on over my PJs and tried to tie on my tie. Jumping into my skirt as I arrived at the corner of my street, I ran as fast as possible because I felt a buzz in my pocket. Thank goodness I felt my phone in my pocket last night. I looked at the screen as I ran and saw I was getting a call. Hey, Sue, I know I'm late. I'm coming. What? I thought we were going to hang out at 11. That is still happening, right? The froggy girl asked on the other end, basically cutting me off. That's happening on Saturday, though, right? I asked her, confused as I ran. Lynn, have you even checked your phone today? She asked as I could just hear her face palming through the other end. I slowly came to a stop to check my home screen. Yeah, I'll meet you at the Paradise Ice Cream later, okay? The call had ended and I sighed disappointedly, with myself at least, not realizing that it was the weekend. And that's why my alarm didn't go off when it needed to. I slowly trudged home as I began to take off my tie. Hey, loser. I heard someone call me as I looked up. Kotsky, what are you doing here? I asked as he walked over towards me. The real question is, why the hell do you look like you just got out of bed and you're wearing your PJs under your school uniform on a weekend? You do stupid shit all the time, so I'm not surprised. He grunted. Watch your language. I hissed at him as he cut me off. The real reason I'm here is that I need you to come to my house so we can train. I need an opponent to practice on. He told me firmly. Fine, but not today. I'm busy with something. Tomorrow? I asked with a slight puff to my cheeks. He just turned around and grilled. Fine, see you tomorrow or whatever. And I just smiled before waving off. When I got back home, I flipped onto my bed practically. I've got my weekend planned. I decided to get started ready to go out with Sue a while. I was texting Izuku. We were talking about this new Here that popped up store at the mall. We decided that we were going to go together this weekend and check it out. Probably later tonight, though. Feeling satisfied with my weekend plans, getting to hang out with all my best friends sounded great. I left after saying goodbye to Mom and Dad and making my way to the station to take a small subway train right to the place I needed to be. The underground train lines were always crowded and busy, which was really annoying, but it was mostly effective way around the city. I placed my ticket through the machine before it let me pass through the gate to the platform. I looked down at my phone and saw a message from Izuku. Ignore that message, sorry. I clicked it, and it took me to our chat. I saw the message that I had just read. Above it said, Izuku Midoriya deleted a message. Strange. I quickly typed in a "don't worry about it" before I made my way onto the train as I started to message Sue. As I arrived at the small ice cream parlor, I saw my froggy friend sitting down on her phone waiting. Hey! I sat down in a booth across from her. She looked up and smiled. Hey, Lynn, Ribbit. I giggled at her small ribbit before we got up to get ice cream. We filled our cups with every topping possible to our likings, and as many flavors as we were allowed to, until we sat down. How's it going? I asked her as we began slowly eating the ice cream. Same old. Uraka and I have almost finished our assignment, so that's good, she replied as she looked up from her ice cream to me. Almost done? But we got them yesterday, I responded, quite panicked. I know. We just wanted to get it done earlier so we would have more free time, just in time, she said pretty casually before looking at me, curious, as if she needed to ask me something, which she definitely was. Where were you yesterday, by the way? I rubbed the back of my neck nervously at that. It's kind of a long story, I guess, but I won't have to bother you with it. Oh, okay. Also, you and Midori have been looking pretty close lately. What's up with that, too? Have you guys got a thing going on? Sue asked with a slight tilt of her head. What? I began to freak out.